2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast. Thirty seconds till broadcast. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Why, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. It is your post-Monday celebration. Greatest day of the entire week. And holy cow, man, year number 1 of the Trump administration is officially in the books as of today, the 1-year anniversary. That's kind of wild. We have that going on. We have foreign policy going on. The World Economic Forum in Davos over in Switzerland. We'll get to that as Donald Trump is headed over there, I believe, right now. And Prime Minister for France, Mr. Macron, he was speaking a little while ago. We have all that to get to, plus the recap of the first year. Has it been a success, a victory, according to Donald Trump? We've had some major wins. It's been a bigly year for sure.
And I think we're going to make it bigly.
So we will try and break all that down for you today. First and foremost, welcome into the show. It's great to have you along today for a a post-Monday, not a Monday. We are not starting the week over again, but doing our thing.
Do it live!
Like we do every single day here on the program. Here's how you can find us at HooserReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. People put in the I in there. Don't do that. HooserReason.com. Also our social media, our podcast, and so much more. You can find the podcast at Finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Right out of the gate, man, Donald Trump coming in today hot and heavy. Did you see the press conference today? Now, Caroline Leavitt does a fantastic job, and she's been one of the best press ladies that we've seen in a very long time, especially after the past administration, right? We had Karine Jean-Pierre. We had Circleback Psaki that didn't answer anything. We had really an entire 4-year stint where we didn't get a whole lot of information out of the White House and out of the administration. It was kind of a major failure, but here we are with the Trump administration having a whole new light on that one. Caroline Leavitt rocking it. But for the 1-year anniversary, Donald Trump coming out hot and heavy, just right up to the podium today. And it reminded me of back in the day, the good old school days of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Trump administration coming out, Donald Trump himself, 2.5-hour press conference, winging it. He had a few bullet points, had a few wins. He showed a book that he had printed off to show all the wins that he had for the first year of the administration, and came out swinging right out of the gate.
This is the anniversary, first anniversary, January 20th, and it's been an amazing period of time. We have a book that I'm not going to read to you, but these are the accomplishments of what we've produced. All page after page after page, individual things. I could stand here and read it for a week and we wouldn't be finished. But we've done more than any other administration has done by far in terms of military, in terms of ending wars, in terms of completing wars. Nobody's really seen very much like it.
All right, so I would say, I think most Americans would say as well, whether you like the agenda or not, and I've said it before, that Donald Trump by far has been the most productive administration. Maybe not on particular things that one individual specifically wants, maybe not the policy that they want at all, and he's gone 180 degrees from their policy as a progressive of a left-wing side of the aisle. But overall, as productive getting things done, the Trump administration itself has been extremely productive. And in my case, I've argued the most productive administration since at least the last 100 years, at least in the last century. So I think that is good news for the Trump administration. From foreign policy to the tariffs to the economy getting back on track. Are we where we want to be right now? No, of course not. I don't think anybody is. But overall, I think that that's a big win for sure. We still have a long ways to go, but it's almost like teeing it up. You have to build the structure, or at least lay out the plan, the foundation of the structure before you can begin actually building. You have to cut away where the roots are in the ground, break away all the rocks that are obstructing what you're planning to build before you can actually lay down the foundation altogether. Using that metaphor, I think that we're in a pretty good spot to where this year we're going to start seeing the walls go up on the house of this big, beautiful, wonderful America First agenda with the golden, the golden age of the United States that Donald Trump likes to say. Now, here's the problem that I think many have is what we're actually doing in Congress. Last night, and I have yet to see any of this, Congress was supposed to release their plan on health care, on their health care plan. Now, Donald Trump released the great health care plan. It was the softball to Republicans in Congress to say, hey, you should probably do something. But have we seen it? No, we haven't seen a thing. I saw one headline today that say that they have released a plan, but I wasn't allowed to open it. There was no other mainstream source that has talked about the health care plan from Congress other than they plan on having it released by the end of the month, which is next week. So I don't think they're quite done on this one. They have, however, created their omnibus bill to try and keep the government open. And that's where we're going to go to with our
What's Trending Today.
What's Trending story of the day. Now, we don't necessarily care for really big omnibus packages. However, is this one that we need to get done and ram through? That is where I ask you this simple question, because this is going to be essentially all of the omnibus packages in one big lump sum. Or, I'm sorry, the appropriations package. It's one omnibus package, all the appropriations that we haven't passed yet, into one over 1,000-page, quote-unquote, bipartisan bill. As according to NBC News, Congress negotiators putting both parties out there as they released the massive bill that was released today, fully funding the government ahead of the shutdown deadline on January 30th. The 1,059-page bipartisan bill includes money for the Pentagon, the Department of Labor, Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Homeland Security, along with reduced chances of another funding lapse that they say for the coming after the longest shutdown in U.S. history. That according to the story. Now, here's the crazy part, and it's an omnibus package. We don't know exactly what all's in it. There's going to be a lot of funding in this. I probably highly doubt that we're going to see some major cuts. Congress, so that would be kind of a major failure, but we're trying, I guess, to at least do something. We always seem to kick this can down the road, right? Oh, we're going to do all these cuts. Oh, we're going to do all these trimmings. And even after DOJ has cut out some funding, I don't know that we've necessarily unappropriated that money from Congress. And now we have this 1,000-page bill that's going to lump the rest of the appropriations into one lump sum, and we don't know how much is actually being cut out of this because, in fact, the big focus right now, obviously, is Department of Homeland Security and ICE, Immigration Custom Enforcement, how much money they're going to be getting. Democrats apparently on board with this with a little bit of cuts, but at the same time not really doing a lot of cuts. I'm kind of confused on why Democrats are or are not supporting this bill. According to Ro Khanna out of the state of California, a Democrat, they say that the bill leaves in place an additional $18 billion a year for ICE. That's with a B, by the way, $18 billion, tripling the budget for immigration and custom enforcement. They go on to say, however, it's a surrender to Trump's lawlessness. I will be strong no and help the opposition in moving against this bill. The package, however, does include some Democrat policies where, according to Rosa DeLauro, a Democrat from Connecticut, saying that they will be supporting the bill and endorsing the package because it says it does have a partial shutdown of ICE and argues it did include some Democrat policies. So I'm confused. You have an $18 billion a year investment for ICE, and then we have apparently some cuts that they want to include in there as well. According to the bipartisan deal and Rosa DeLauro from the state of Connecticut, they say the bipartisan bill allocates $20 million for the procurement, deployment, and operation of body-worn cameras for ICE agents, and also, quote, encourages the Department of Health and Department of Homeland Security to develop and implement a new uniform policy to ensure that law enforcement officers are clearly identifiable as federal law enforcement. Okay, I'm assuming that's with the face coverings that they don't necessarily like. People that are, I mean, I would think if you're walking up and you see someone with a big vest on that says ICE, you probably know who they are. Could be wrong there, but I'm assuming. So this apparently redesigns their uniform policy and puts body cameras on. Which, okay, fine. You know what? Law enforcement has body cameras. Maybe we should probably do that too. For ICE, sure. Okay, whatever. DeLauro, the Democrat from Connecticut, also says the bill cuts funding for ICE enforcement and removal of operations by $115 million and reduces the number of ICE detention beds by 5,500. So again, I'm confused. We've tripled the budget for ICE up to $18 billion with a B that Democrats don't want, while other Democrats say we're cutting funding of ICE by $115 million and detention beds across the nation by 5,500. We're not getting some clear answers on exactly what's in this omnibus package with all of the appropriations, but apparently it's going to be voted on tomorrow in the House of Representatives, and we'll see what happens. Because I don't know. At the same time, we're not seeing a health care bill yet, but now we're pushing that deadline back to the end of the month, which is the end of next week, to see whether that one moves forward again or not as well.
What's trending today?
If there is any stickler going on with the administration or government in general right now, it would be the fact that we have a lack of activity and a lack of movement from Congress on doing what they promised to do. Donald Trump brought in Doge. Donald Trump brought in Elon Musk. And obviously the media had a frenzy. They had a heyday on that one and how much he was cutting and how dare he just interrupt all these programs, USAID, and why the heck are we cutting all this stuff out of the government for transgender Sesame Street in Nigeria or something. That's what they were trying to go for. But at the same time, now they want to reinstitute all of it. We played the clip yesterday from Chuck Schumer about how they're going to re-implement Doge cuts. And now, apparently, we're just going to just rubber stamp the budget to continue on so that way we don't have to worry about a government shutdown. If there's any failures in Congress right now or in government in general, it would be Congress, even though, according to the latest poll from Brett Baer, he says from Fox News that Republicans are still the lead go-to on when it comes to policy changes in the country.
You look at the latest Wall Street Journal poll, who's best to handle? Immigration, Republicans in Congress, 44, Democrats, 33. Economy, 38-32, tariffs, 36-34. I mean, it's one poll, but it shows you that maybe it's not moving as much as people think it is.
Yeah, okay, so there has been concern that there's moving away from the MAGA movement over to the other side of the aisle. That's not happening, obviously. Those are fear tactics and fear-mongering from the other side, wanting to generate activity and momentum for the policies maybe going into midterm election, saying that people really like the Democrat policies, even though there's no Democrat policy other than we hate Donald Trump. So overall right now, it sounds like Republicans are still trusted on policy, but they're frustrated the policy's not being executed. And that seems to be the same old story, right? Republicans, we gave you a chance. Remember, under the first Trump administration, you said, we need the House, we gave you the House. We need the Senate, we gave you the Senate. We need the presidency, we gave you the presidency. The first 2 years of the first Trump administration, 1.0, we gave you all of it. And Republicans fought against the agenda. And in fact, we had the legendary John McCain strolling down the congressional room with his brain cancer, flying all the way from Arizona to come in and make sure to vote against repealing Obamacare. And we shut down that bill because it was so tight, and that Senate vote failed on repealing Obamacare at that time. We weren't able to implement a Trump tax cut 2.0 in administration number 1 because we didn't have enough Republican support. So we lost it, and we lost the midterms. They swung the other way, And then we had the 2 impeachments against the Trump administration. We had essentially a stagnation of the last 2 years, and then COVID hit, and it made it even more difficult. We have now again, and it may be slim majorities, but we have the Republican House, we have the Republican Senate, and we have the Republican presidency. Congress, if you want to win another midterm election, you kind of need to get on board and codify the Trump agenda. And by codifying it, we mean cut, baby, cut. We want Democrats in the streets even more than what we have right now, losing their minds with their hair on fire because the Federal Department of Education is non-existent any longer. We want to see major cuts of Obamacare and the repealing of Obamacare, not keeping it around like an old pet that's just, doing things all over the floor that I can't say on FCC approved radio waves. We want it done, and we want you to ram it down the congressional throats. And that way Donald Trump can sign it and we can codify, because Donald Trump himself is still popular. What, 93% approval rating for Donald Trump right now? He's still popular. And if people want that agenda done, if you want to go along with that bandwagon, get on board and get her done. Very frustrating. What else happened the first year of the Trump administration? We'll cover some of that when we come back around the corner. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com, and use the promo code REASON.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
When reason meets radio. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
We ended Biden's stagflation. We were in stagflation. That's a disaster. That's far worse than inflation. As you know, he had the biggest inflation in the history of our country. They say 48 years. Pick your choice. But they had the biggest inflation in the history of our country. We have it right down to a normal number now. We're going to get it even a little bit lower. Created super high. What we've done with growth is incredible. We created super high economic growth, and America is booming. It's booming. There are thousands of businesses right now that are being built. Many of the biggest factories in the world are being built right in our country. They're not going to other countries. They're leaving other countries.
So some of the big wins from the Trump administration, year number 1, that was part of the massive book that he walked into at the press conference earlier today. Are we on the right track? Look, I mean, maybe we didn't see some of the major shakeups and the overhaul, the massive reset, the chaos and panic ensuing in D.C. like maybe some of the conservatives and Republicans and MAGA individuals had hoped, but it was still a productive year. Nonetheless, we'll cover some of that in just a moment. I want to tell you about my friends over at Lean. Again, I've been taking it since the beginning of the year. It's awesome. I love it, and you need to try it too if you're trying to get back in shape, maybe lose a few of those pounds, do some stuff after the holidays, do your New Year's resolution, whatever it may be. You have no idea how much damage that gaining and losing weight can do to your body and your organs. Doctors call all the different fad diets out there the weight cycling, and a lot of Americans do it. When you lose 10 pounds or more, you put it back on, you gain a few more. It's really tough on your body. It's really tough on your organs, and it probably leaves you really, really frustrated. Bottom line, most people need help losing weight, and here's a great way that you can do it. I'm telling you, try non-prescription Lean. It was created by doctors. Lean's an oral supplement, not an injection, and the science is really cool in how it works. It helps you maintain your healthy blood sugar. It helps control appetite and cravings, and it helps burn fat by converting it to energy. And when you burn the fat, you help keep the weight off. Add Lean to your meaningful weight loss and healthy pace to be able to keep it off with your exercise and your diet lifestyle. When you use Lean right now, get 20% off when you enter the code REASON by going to the website at takelean.com. Again, go to takelean.com and use the promo code REASON for 20% off, and do it right now. Again, I'm down, I think, like 5 pounds in 2 weeks. It's awesome. It's slow burning, and that way you feel really good, and that way it's not just boom, done, and then you gain it right back on, and you get really frustrated. I love it. Go check out Lean. All right, so the Trump administration, I think there was maybe, look, I fell part of it as well. I think a lot of people fell for it, is when we saw the Trump administration get elected. We get so excited. Awesome. We're going to see the government cut by half. We're going to see the budget cut by 75%. We're going to see this overhaul. We're going to see the arrest of everybody, and it's all going to happen right now. And it's part of maybe the instant gratification society that we live in. I get it. None of that really happened the way that we thought it would, but that's not to negate what we've been able to do. The economy is getting back on track, whether people want to admit it or not. Gas prices at a low over the past 5 years. We're seeing more jobs. We're seeing consumer spending. We're seeing consumer confidence. All that's doing very well. The stock market at record highs right now. So all of that is a big win. We can applaud that. Hooray! We don't have all of the Epstein files, although they're releasing tens of thousands of documents on a daily basis right now, so we are getting more information than what we've had before. And if you keep complaining of, we're not seeing the Epstein files, then you're just not going to look, because we are seeing more information. The transparency's there. However, the frustration, have we seen any arrests yet? No, we haven't seen any arrests yet. We have seen now an indictment of Governor Tim Walz and the mayor of Minneapolis, Frye, with the regards fighting against federal law enforcement. So maybe we're starting to see some actual playing out of the legal system there. The problem is that we have an entrenched system that runs so deep, it's hard to fathom how bad it actually is. We cannot willy-nilly just arrest somebody and take them to court for the crimes that they've committed, like a Hillary Clinton or a Jeffrey Epstein or someone like that, as an example, Tim Walz, whoever, because we have a court system that is an activist court system, and they're political hacks, and they have an agenda. And we have to make sure every I is dotted and every T is crossed to make sure they cannot wiggle out of that judicial
This
system.
is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals and different offers from all of our great radio partners. Finally, if you want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with all of our great episodes and your favorite guests. And make sure to check out the latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family. Let's continue to fight for conservative common sense principles together by going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did two guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hoosier Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreements always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
Truth, reason, and common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
The stock market has set 52 all-time record highs during the course of the 11 months, because this was done on 11 months. Now we are actually officially 12 months as of today. 52 all-time record highs. That means 401ks did great. I have people see me all the time, policemen that guard us really well, and got to know them a little bit. And they said, "Sir, you're making me look so good. My 401k is through the roof. My wife thinks I'm the greatest genius, that I'm a financial genius, like Warren Buffett." He told me that. He said, I think they have better returns than Warren Buffett right now.
I gotta admit, Donald Trump, man, he's just so comfortable. He goes up there, just kind of talks, goes through his bullet points, kind of wings it a little bit. 2.5-hour press conference. Oh, like the nostalgic good old days during the COVID-19 pandemic. You remember that? He was out at the press conferences 3 hours a night, just talking to the media, going back and forth, bantering, having a good time, calling out Fauci, talking about, whatever, about the pandemic, about other issues. He's just out there doing his thing, to the point where media just stopped covering the press conferences, which I find kind of strange. You would think, and they've almost wanted to create this illusion of a president that's, untouchable, unreachable, and it's up on this pedestal. It's this king type mentality. Well, they called Donald Trump a tyrant and a king himself, and they had their No King's Day protests, which haven't gone on for a while. I find that kind of interesting. Or maybe they have, and we just don't cover it any longer. But they still do all this stuff. And then at the same time, they want this separation between the administration, the general populace, and the president themselves. Which is why Joe Biden very rarely did. Well, I take that back. Maybe that's not why Joe Biden didn't do any press conferences. Maybe that's why. But Donald Trump, man, he just goes on his tirades on Truth Social, on Twitter. He goes out to the press conference, talks for 2.5 hours, answers every question, spars with the media. Why the heck not? It's a great time. All right, let's shift gears a little bit here, shall we?
What's trending today?
Outside of the one-year anniversary of the Trump administration and all the big wins that he's had, he's also now on the flight out to Switzerland and Davos for the World Economic Forum. And can we just admit now that these types of global summits, these types of global meetings really aren't needed much anymore? If we are going to an America First agenda, if we're going towards each individual nation looking out for their own, which is kind of what you're supposed to do anyways as a nation, if you're the United States, if you're even Russia, if you're France, if you're Switzerland, if you're Brazil, if you're Argentina, you're looking out for the best interest of your nation. It's not the collective good. It's not for the collective general populace, and we will never have a functioning world government, or at least I hope. Well, we'll never have a functioning world government. Whether we actually have an attempted world government or not, that'll be decided soon. We have the United Nations right now, and I have found something that I strongly oppose and disagree with the Trump administration, and that is with him saying that we do not need to get rid of the United Nations after Donald Trump's announcement of his board of peace that he's trying to impose now, an alternative from the United Nations, which I disagree with in general as well. He wants this world peace. I understand it. But then they were asking him, should we be advocating for nations to leave the United Nations?
Do you want your board of peace to replace the UN?
Well, it might. I mean, the UN just hasn't been very helpful. I'm a big fan of the UN potential, but it has never lived up to its potential. The UN should have settled every one of the wars that I settled. I never went to them. I never even thought to go to them. They should be able to settle those wars. They don't. I believe you got to let the UN continue because the potential is so great.
Yeah. So, okay. Hey, other side of the aisle. Andy, you're just a puppet for Donald Trump, and you always agree with him on everything. Yeah, I disagree with them on that one. I think we should close down the United Nations. Can we do that? Please, can we do that? Please. I want to get rid of the United Nations. There's no point. They do absolutely nothing. And point in case, if you want to know exactly why they're such a failure, is because the nations that run them are the ones that do a lot of shady stuff, including, for example, the crimes against humanity. If there were actually an enforcement of crimes against humanity, then the United Nations would have put their foot down against Russia a long time ago with how they abused Ukraine, blowing up apartment complexes, going after civilians, and killing tens of thousands of civilians in the nation of Ukraine as they continue on with their advancements. And anybody part of the Humanities Crimes Against Humanity board or committees or whatever in the United Nations should have been, maybe we should actually arrest Vladimir Putin and put a stop to this because he's not allowed to kill civilians like that. But has that happened? No, it has not. And you want to know why is because Russia's part of that board, and they have to have unanimous votes in order to make that happen, and they're not going to vote against themselves to arrest their leader that's causing the crimes against humanity. So, no, not even the idea of the United Nations has worked. Not even the vision of the United Nations is productive in any way, shape, or form. We need to shut it down, and God bless Donald Trump for trying to do something different. Now, I disagree that we should, I don't know. If he's creating a board for world peace, is it going to happen? More than likely not. Is he going to attempt it because his heart's in the right place? Yeah, I think it is. And I think he's going to do what he can. Now, he's doing a $1 billion buy-in for every nation that needs to be part of this, and I do applaud him for that because right now, with the United Nations, we fund, 70, 80, 90% of these different programs through the UN as the United States. And if you're going to be part of this, you need to be financially contributing to make sure that you actually are held to a particular standard. So I think that's good news, but not very many people are wanting to be part of it, including our friends over in France, where we had Macron out there at the World Economic Forum earlier today, and he was looking kind of like a Joe Biden with the aviators. He walked into the World Economic Forum, went up to the podium in the aviators, and then tried to look really cool as he was giving a speech and then going after Donald Trump about all the stuff that he doesn't want to see done.
China is welcome, but what we need is more...
Oh, by the way, before we get into this, he's talking about China, and when we look at world powers, they're upset about the United States. They're upset about us trying to purchase Greenland. They're really trying to make a stand on this whole Greenland thing and wanting to separate and individuate from the United States, even though they really can't. But now is advocating to side with China and have more Chinese investments in Europe for economic development. See how well that works out for you.
China is welcome, but what we need is more Chinese foreign direct investment in Europe in some key sectors to contribute to our growth, to transfer some technologies, and not just to export towards Europe some devices or products which sometimes don't have the same standards or are much more subsidized as the one being produced in Europe.
Okay, so I don't understand half of what he said, but he did make the general statement that we should see more investments of China going into Europe. I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea. And the way that China really, they're trying to battle with us on AI and technological advancements. If we see China start investing heavily in Europe, that's their scapegoat of how they get away from the Trump administration. The Trump administration, by the way, that's putting on a major tariff on the nations that are balking against us buying Greenland, starting off with 10%, going up to 25% by June 1st. Also, France themselves could be in a world of hurt after Donald Trump has now made the announcement that France, who has opted out so far of joining our Board of Peace, run by the United States of America to try and advocate for world peace, that they would have, what did he say, a 400% tariff on the nation or something? So Donald Trump utilizing the powers that we have as the world power, as the leading force economically worldwide, we have that leverage. And they're desperate to look for alternative leverage right now, which is why they're saying, hey, China, we open the doors to you. You want to come in and start investing? And Mr. Macron, Mr. Frenchie himself, that has his aviators on trying to look really, really cool at the World Economic Forum, that is his alternative, is to now advocate for Greenland to do those, or I'm sorry, with China to do those investments. Sorry, I was thinking of Greenland because Donald Trump, during the press conference today, before he left, was asked about Greenland and how far he's willing to go, and according to the media, made a chilling statement.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
That's it. You'll find out. It's like a teaser for a movie, man. He's the ultimate troll. And he loves to just poke the bear with those guys because why the hell not? So now we have this Board of Peace, and we have a push for world peace, where at the same time Donald Trump has made the announcement this week that we are no longer just focusing on peace, but now looking at the America First agenda. What is going to be beneficial to this nation? No longer thinking on the grand world stage of trying to keep the peace, because we've done a great job of that. He's been able to create, 5 to 10 different peace agreements, depending on who you talk to. But everybody admits that there's been some type of peace agreements done across the board, more so, again, than any other nation in the past century, which is good news. But now he's like, we've done that. We still need to continue to work on that. But at the same time, we need to look out for our best interest. And according to Donald Trump right now, that best interest is Greenland. I don't know why. Outside of him wanting this golden dome, and he wants the raw materials, and it's going to be a better keeping an eye check on Russia and on China, and we need to beef up the military there. We have a military base. We could probably beef that up a little bit more in the nation of Greenland, or in that little island of Greenland. But at the same time, he's desperate, man. He wants it, and he's going to make it happen. And according to him,
how far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
So as we do a Board of Peace, we're also looking at our agenda. And more nations are recognizing the fact that they can, here's the summary of this entire conversation, more nations are recognizing that they can start looking out for their own interests first again. It's no longer about the greater good. It's no longer about the global good. It's no longer about this World Economic Forum, when half of the major world leaders aren't even there. President Xi of China is not even at the World Economic Forum. That means that they don't really care. They had their own thing going on, and that's why Macron is out there begging, please come and invest over here in the in the European Union and in Europe in general. Please bring your money over here. We don't want to deal with the United States, because China has their own agenda, Russia has their own agenda, the United States has their own agenda, and these other nations are getting left behind because they still think it's for a global movement and a global good. And the sooner they realize it's about their nation and their own priorities first, we can start having way better dealings and peace agreements and trade deals, because it'll benefit both of us at the same time, and they don't have to worry about anybody else.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, DC's broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
Oh, hey, sorry, I was just enjoying one of my snacks during the break. You know, it's hard to find good quality snacks without all the unhealthy additives, but I'm here to tell you that problem is over. It's time to enjoy J&S Smoked Snacks. Real cuts of beef, real wood smoke, and real flavor that's crafted in small batches to keep every bag fresh. And with numerous different flavors, you'll never get enough. This is not your average gas station jerky. It's J&S Smoked Snacks. Find them online at jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy The Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all the social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with The Voice of Reason.
America's safe space for common sense. This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Here's the book on accomplishments. And this is something, I'm glad my finger wasn't in that sucker. That could have done some damage, but you know what? I wouldn't have shown the pain.
Oh my gosh.
I would have gone back. What, did you hear that? That was nasty. But I would not have shown the pain. I would have acted like nothing happened as my finger fell off.
Or the paper binder is the talk of the town today at the beginning. I love it. Donald Trump just, hey, oh, look at that. My finger would have been falling off, and I wouldn't have complained whatsoever. You wouldn't have even known that I had an issue if I got that. Look at how strong that bad boy was. That's why we all love Donald Trump. Or if you don't, then, you're just angry because you've dehumanized him so much that you just think everybody's what?
We're all going to die because of you!
Yeah, absolute insanity. Hey, we are getting ready to actually have a conversation about healthcare in this nation, in a legitimate, ridiculous conversation about healthcare and the fact that we're trying to keep, I say ridiculous in the sense that we're trying to keep the Affordable Care Act or keep the government options for some reason. I don't understand why. That's a little absurd. We want options, but we just want good options. And that's what Americans for Prosperity is trying to do right now, is put pressure on Congress to actually come up with great options so you can make a choice on your own personal health care options. Go to personaloption.com. You can find the information. You can know exactly how to call your elected official, how to put pressure on your elected official in your area, and that way we know exactly what kind of bill we want and what we need and how we can have better private options in the market to give us better health care outcomes, and that way we can continue to be the greatest nation on the face of the earth with our friends over at Americans for Prosperity. Go to personaloption.com. All right, as we look at the issues across the world, we also have our major issues here on the home front. So many that are worried about the America First agenda. We're working on it, I know, and we continue to see the outcries from the other side of the aisle that are upset about the direction that we're going. Did you see the headline from the state of Minneapolis, or the state of Minnesota, city of Minneapolis today?
What's trending today?
This one coming from Fox News is apparently restaurant owners, coffee shop owners, bars, and more are now planning a, quote, economic blackout on Friday. Now, talk about, spiting yourself to try and harm somebody else. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Think about children that are going to not be in school getting their education, businesses that are going to be losing out on revenue because they want to protest ICE with more ICE agents heading up to Minneapolis. According to Fox News, a number of restaurants, bars, and coffee shops in the Twin Cities are planning to take part of an economic blackout strike on Friday in the response of immigration enforcement policies, where, according to the report, dozens of food establishments, along with other small businesses, have planned to close operations, promoting what organizers described as a statewide shutdown that they call for no work, no school, and no shopping. The demonstration is scheduled for 2 p.m. on Friday, downtown Minneapolis, as the ICE Out was announced on January 13th by Immigration Rights Action Committee for the state of Minnesota. Now, I'm trying to process this because, again, we can better understand and better respond to the other side if we understand the logic that they go through. You're telling me that as a business owner, you don't want the revenue of people coming into your business. You don't want the education of your kids actually going to school, so you're going to shut everything down in order to protest ICE when that's not going to stop ICE from doing their operations. It's not going to stop them from arresting bad guys like Donald Trump went through the litany of individuals that have been arrested up there, of domestic abusers, of hit-and-run individuals, of human traffickers, of drug traffickers, of murderers up there, of rapists that are up there. Those are who we're arresting, and they're closing down their private business, losing the revenue because they want to protest ICE and keep those individuals in the community? I'm confused. I know. My brain hurts. But if you live up in that Minnesota area, we have a lot of podcast downloaders up there. Be prepared that you might not be able to go get your cup of coffee. You might not be able to go to the bar or go to a restaurant because they want to do this ICE Out and blackout economic protest against them. That only hurts your own community. But these ideas stem from somewhere, and you have to ask the question where they stem from. And those ideas obviously would be stemming from people that have been calling ICE to get out of town and advocating for this type of protest to continue on. That includes Governor Tim Walz and the mayor of Minneapolis, Mr. Fry, and the others that have been advocating to keep their sanctuary city status. It's not boding well for you. It's not looking good on you. You might want to change that color off of the uniform because it just doesn't look appealing with your skin complexion right now. And I say that in the sense that Democrats need to change their clothes right now because it looks a little silly with how bad and angry and emotional you are going into a midterm election season. Crazy times, but we'll see whether they actually follow through with it or not. Until then, we're back at it again tomorrow for a midweek celebration. What exactly will Donald Trump say at the World Economic Forum? Big news planned ahead. We'll cover some of that and more as we go into year number 2 of the Trump administration. Until then, be your own voice of reason. We'll see you back on the radio soon. Bye. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the voice of reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the voice of reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own voice of reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue